Hello everyone and welcome back to Farming Simulator 19. You're watching JCTV playing on the PC. We are back in Rustic Acres again today, folks. We need to make some money. Look at that, $11,675. We've also got to plant something in this field and something in field number 3 over here. You remember from the last episode when we plowed and limed. Now the field is ready to be seeded, but we don't really know what we're going to seed. We don't even know if we have enough money to seed. Is the seeder full of seeds and fertilizer, or is it empty? We're going to find that out. We're probably also going to maybe do a contract today. This is a continuation of the first episode, so the oats in field number 2 are still not ready to harvest, so we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. That is already disconnected. Let's go and see if the seeder has any seeds and fertilizer in it, and then we can make the decision on whether or not we want to spend any more money. We'll probably have to do a contract first to get funds back to where they should be. That should be good to hook up there now. All right, we are full. We have full seeds and full fertilizer. So that makes me happy. So we can probably plant something over here. Did I attach the hoses? Are there hoses on the DB90? There is. There. Now they're attached. All right. Let's figure this out. We need to get out of here. Preferably without hitting anything, but that's not going to happen today. There we go. So now we're not going to plant corn because we don't have a corn header. So I don't really know. I think maybe let's look at crop prices. What do we got here? Wheat, barley, oats, canola looks to be pretty good. And sunflowers looks to be pretty good. I think we're going to go with canola because we don't have a sunflower header either. So let's plant some canola. Let's find the canola. There we go. And I don't think we need to use the GPS for this because this is a relatively small field. All right, let's lower this. Let's turn it on. Or maybe not. Oh. Oh. Did I forget to attach something? There's the hoses. Out lower, and there we go. Okay, we're good. All right, let's plant some canola. All right, so we're at $11,000. We'll plant this field really quickly, and then we'll go into a contract. We haven't looked at the contracts yet. Hopefully there's a couple of harvesting contracts we can do, because when you do the harvesting contracts, you can always keep the leftover crops after the contract is finished, which puts a little extra money in your pocket, which is always good. There we go. Yeah, 3 swipes in this field will be finished. It's not a very big field. We'll do that field over there. Field number 3, we'll do that one a little bit later. Let's just see how much seed and fertilizer this field takes, because we might not have to fill this up for a while if it keeps going the way it's going. We're only used 3% seed so far, and we're almost done. And 4% fertilizer. So that's not bad at all. It might not be that hard on our pocketbook after all. All right, there's that. And now just one little strip. Get right to the edge. There we go. All right. Well, that wasn't as bad as I thought it was. There 4% seed and 6% fertilizer used. Maybe after we're done the contract, we can look at sheep. Sheep are, I think, $1,500 a piece. And since the grass around our farm is free and the water is free over there in that water tanker just ahead, um, we should be able to generate some income with some wool. There we go. Let's fold that up, and we're going to leave this. No, fold. Fold. It's not folding. What's going on here? Oh, lift. Do I have to lift it first and then fold? Why? There it goes. I guess it just takes a little bit. It took a little finagling, but we've got the DB9 folded up. Now we're just going to leave this over here, and we'll come back and seed this field a little later. We'll go and see if there are any contracts that need to be done. Hopefully there is a fertilizing contract or two that we can knock out, just so we can get some extra funds in the bank, so that way we can see if we can afford any sheep. I prefer to use my own equipment when it comes to contracts, simply because I don't like paying that extra fee. So we've got a harvester, we've got a tractor, and we've got a trailer. So it only makes sense that we try and look for a harvesting contract. Whoops, a little too liberal with that reverse button there. There we go. There's that hooked up. All right, let's have a look at this. All right, so we've got sunflower harvesting. We don't have a sunflower header. Field 45 is corn. We don't have a corn header. Field 9, $5,000. The lower the price of the contract, that means the smaller the amount of work you have to do. So field 9 is right here. So I think that looks like a pretty good one. It's close right by. So I think we're going to accept that contract. And then we can hop in the harvester and drive on down there. So let's do that. And then that'll put an extra $5,000 in our pocket, plus the extra crop that is going to be left over. So maybe about 5 or 6 sheep. We can buy 5 or 6 with that money, and then we can start generating some income from the wool, and then use the free grass around our farm here. We just have to drive around and pick it up with the loading wagon. All right, field number 9, here we are. Let's disconnect everything and start harvesting. There we go. All right, not a bad little town, this Rustic Acres. A little rough of a start. We've still got our rainy day crops in the silo, which I don't want to dip into, which is why we're doing contract work right now. All right, let's hook up the PTO for the header. Oh, there we go. All right, did we make a GPS track for the header? We did not. All right, so let's make a GPS track for the header. And we'll call this one harvesting. And there we go. All right, so GPS on, header on, and we are off doing this contract. We're going to harvest up these soybeans. We'll stick everything inside the trailer, then we'll run it over to the sell point. We will see you in just a little bit. Hang tight. Okay, so that didn't take as long as I thought it would. We got these soybeans harvested on field number 9 to complete this contract. Let's see, where do we need to take these when we dump them into the trailer? We need to go up to Western Grains in the top right-hand corner of the map, and then we can drop these off, get paid for the contract, and then we'll see just how much money is left over. I'm pretty sure there'll be a little bit of crops left over after the contract is complete, and then we can look at buying some goats and start getting some wool income. Now, I was looking at this a little bit while this drains into the trailer. Let's look at this. I was looking at the wool prices versus the egg prices. Now, sheep are, why did I say goats? Sheep are $1,500 a piece, and chickens are $50 a piece. You can see that the eggs are considerably more than the wool. So it would probably make more sense if we bought chickens because we already have wheat and barley in the silo. We can have wheat and barley fed chickens. So I think that might be something that we want to explore is chickens instead of sheep for the wool. So let's take this up to Western Grains right now. We will see how much money we have, and then we'll meet you back over by the chicken coop, and we'll look at buying some chickens. Hang tight, we'll be right back. All right, so here we are in the chicken coop. I'm thinking we're going to go with chickens instead of sheep at the moment. Um, those egg prices are far too good to pass up, and chickens are pretty cheap. So it's pretty easy. You buy your chickens, you put the feed here, the eggs appear in boxes somewhere over here on the outside of the pen, and all you have to do is come over here and buy some chickens. So now we're going to start with a rooster because every pen needs a rooster. So with the fee, because we don't have any equipment to go and pick them up, we're paying an extra $15 per bird, so $65 per animal. And this pen holds 400 chickens. So we can go with, let's go with all brown chickens. So we're going to, let's see, we're going to go with 50. We'll start with 50 chickens to start for $2,500. So there you go. So you can see our beautiful brown chickens there with our rooster strutting around. So now we just sit back and wait for eggs to populate somewhere, and then we'll figure out where, how we cart the eggs to the sell point at a different point in time. But right now we need to feed the chickens. So let's jump back in the tractor and we'll get some, we'll start with wheat. We'll start them off on wheat because we've got a lot of wheat. And that way we don't have to mow any grass, we don't have to get any water, and then we don't have to use the pallet or the pallet attachments for the John Deere tractor. This way we can just watch eggs fall onto the ground. We'll start with about this much wheat. I'm not sure how much 50 chickens are going to eat or require. The good news is we don't have to add water and we rarely have to clean up after them. So it's not going to be that difficult to raise chickens. We'll just dump our wheat right here. There we go, trough is full. So that didn't really take that much at all. Now we'll just sit back and wait for them to reproduce or multiply, and we'll wait for the eggs to drop onto the ground. I'm guessing right in front of the chicken coop there somewhere. And then when it comes time to transport them to somewhere, we'll worry about that at a later point in time. What else did we have to do? Oh yeah, so we left the seeder over at the bottom of that field, field number 3. You can see it there in the mini map. So we're going to have to go over and seed that field because that is ready to be planted. Now we planted canola, I believe it was, on field number 1. So we have to figure out something to plant over on field number 3, which is a little bit larger than field number 1. And we still have the oats growing in field number 2, which should be ready to harvest soon, I'm hoping. We'll just throw them in the silo with the rest of the crops that we're saving. Now, we didn't show it on camera, but when we did complete that contract for field 9 with the soybeans, we received $7,200 in extra crop sales that were left over after the contract was complete, and we received $5,000 to complete the contract because we used our own equipment. We didn't have to pay that fee, which is always good. There we go, all hooked up. Now I think, let's see, should we go with canola again, or should we go with something else? I don't know. Let's start off on this side of the field, and then we'll use the GPS. I think we need to create a GPS track, so we'll do that as well. Yeah, you know what? I think we'll stick with canola. Canola's at a good price, so we'll do a couple of fields of canola, and we still got the oats. Let's set the width of the planter. And we'll just call this the DB90. There we go. Perfect. So we are all set to go. GPS on and planter lowered and on. There we go. Now it's lowered. All right, so we are planting canola and fertilizing. We should have more than enough to do this field. I don't foresee a problem. And then once we're done this, I'm not really sure what else we can do. Maybe we can go and play with the chickens or chase the chickens around, or who knows. All right, well, we're going to seed this field with canola, and we will be back in just a minute. Sit tight. Well, that didn't take very long. We are on the last little strip of planting now. This is our second field of canola. So we've got canola in field number 1, now again in field number 3. And you can see here in field number 1 right ahead of us, the canola is already starting to sprout. So that means it will be time to fertilize soon to the next stage. And then we can look at how much that is going to cost. But right now, we're not doing too bad. We started out this episode with $11,000 and we're sitting at $20,000. We managed to buy 50 chickens and a rooster and then plant 2 of our fields. And we still have 85% seed capacity left in the seeder and 78% fertilizer. So we should be okay for a little while. And we do have that the Kuhn backpack fertilizer sprayer or fertilizer spreader right there, which we can look at filling up. We use the smaller John Deere tractor for that, I'm guessing. I don't think we need to use this big class Platinum Edition tractor. We are going to have to use the smaller tractor to get in there. We're going to have to move the mower, I think, but let's just see. Whoops. We should be able to get in there with the smaller R-Series John Deere tractor here. No, I don't know if this is full or empty, or let's see if that works. Oh, there we go. And took up the hoses in the PTO. Oh, and it's full of fertilizer. Perfect. All right, so let's just drop that bucket. We don't need that. Let's go and fertilize our canola in field number 1. Now this shouldn't take very long at all, so I don't think we need to use the GPS for this. Oh, and it doesn't need to be fertilized. Not just yet. Maybe at the second stage. It does not need to be fertilized at this point in time. All right, well, it's good to know that we have fertilizer in the spreader. So we'll leave that hooked up to the tractor, and we will fertilize next time around maybe. I still don't, oh, I think that's the trigger for the eggs right there. You can sort of see it. There it is. I'm guessing that's where the eggs will come out, right here. And then we can just figure out how we're going to transport them. We'll probably have to buy a trailer of some kind. We can worry about that later. We don't have to worry about that right now. All right, so let's park this John Deere tractor back here. And I think that is going to wrap things up for today, folks. There's not really much else we can do. We could do a couple more contracts, but we'll save that for another day. Yeah, so that is going to wrap things up here in Rustic Acres. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. Don't forget, before you leave, hit that subscribe button for me in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. Drop a like on the video and ring that notification bell so you can be alerted every time we upload new content. Have a fantastic rest of your day, and we will see you later.